Hello Twin Flames, and welcome back to God Conscious Twin Flame 1111. My name is Pam and I want to welcome you back to the channel. I want to thank all my loyal viewers and the new subscribers for joining my channel. Don't forget to hit the little bell so that you get updates on my energy update readings. I did attempt to see if my live streaming was working, and it is not. So I will be moving this channel to the other channel that I started, which is God Conscious Energy Coaching and Healing, probably within the next week. So I'm going to ask you guys to hop on over there. I also have been doing live, just little live feeds on the Facebook channel, which is God Conscious Twin Flames 1111. I'm still trying to get used to conscious, all the channels. I'm not putting any more music on my videos. I don't know what did it. I didn't get any responses, and I can't get a hold of anybody to try and figure out what's going on. I also have a private group that is a place where you can just kind of share what's going on in your world if you're in need of just to vent. It is a closed group. It's called God Conscious 1111 Support. And you can, it's a small group right now. It's a closed group, and you can put, you know, what's going on in there. I also, every Saturday, have been doing a live feed on the God Conscious Twin Flames Facebook page. So I want to encourage you guys to go over there. We're concluding a week-long study, if you will, on patience. So I'm going through the Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 and 5. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. And each week, we're going to be strengthening those gifts within us. We're going to see where we're weak, and we're going to see where we're strong. That tool helped me to get clear from this idea that union was the be-all, end-all. And union with the divine is the most important gift that you can receive on this twin flame journey. And that brings you to a place of peace that surpasses all understanding, whether you and your twin come together or not. Sorry, I just want to grab my coffee. Whether you and your twin come together or not. This is not about a union physically, necessarily, though some people are in physical union. It's really to become in union with yourself and with the divine, so that you can spread the message of love unconditionally throughout your family, throughout your community, throughout your work life, throughout everything, so that you can really enjoy life. It's to free you from the bondages of fear and pain and anxiety and the past in particular. And your twin, if you met your twin, was the catalyst that started this process. So this is essentially a divine journey back to self. And I really want to encourage that more than encourage union, though for some union is on the horizon. I'm not saying that it isn't. What I'm saying is that the focus overall cannot be on union. And I am not an advocate for promoting that union is the answer. For some, it has transpired. For others, it has been a back and forth, back and forth. I really want to encourage self-respect, self-love, self-healing, self-empowerment. And when I say self-empowerment, I don't mean that we should be completely independent and, on this kind of spiritual guru plane. I'm not suggesting that, because it isn't that. I'm suggesting interdependence, and I'm encouraging interdependence where we need each other on this journey. We were made to be in community and fellowship with others. It just so happens that this divine path is not understood by the average person. And they have not gotten to that level in their journey yet to want to ascend from the lower vibrational energies of the 7 deadly sins: pride, lethargy, which is sloth, arrogance. I'm not thinking clearly right now about the 7 deadly sins. I try not to focus on them as much as I focus on the fruits of the Spirit, but anger, or wrath, as it's written in the Bible, and really move from those energies to the higher vibrational energies of grace and peace and patience and tolerance and understanding and compassion. And those of us that get on this path are highly empathetic. We are highly sensitive beings. And some of us are on this path, got introduced to this path early in our lives, others later in our lives. Whatever stage of development you're in was divinely suited for your purpose, and that you will have to go through the clearing lessons that will authenticate the ascension process. So if you're feeling lonely at this time, I encourage you to seek the divine to see what that loneliness is about. Are you surrounded by couples and you think, oh, I should have a partner? That's not necessarily true. I have witnessed relationships that were really powerful and positive, and couples that really belong together that are not on this ascension path. But then I've witnessed others that are just there because they're afraid of change. So what you're seeing on the outside may not represent what's going on the inside of that relationship. We all put on a face for the public that everything is okay, and on the inside we're just crying to be set free. And not everybody will acknowledge that part of themselves. Not everybody is supposed to acknowledge that. Some people have to come back and do this again. So our job is to set our own boundaries in a loving, gentle way, where sometimes no is a complete sentence. I released my twin basically back 5 or 6 weeks ago, because I know what I want, I know where I'm going, I know what I need, I know what the divine wants from me. And he's not willing at that time and or this to surrender to the divine path. And my heart's desire is that the person that I get into relationship with has a relationship with God, and is on a spiritual journey. And at this time, my twin took other paths of lower vibrational frequencies to which can't work out at this point. And so I pray for him, and I wish him the best, and I hope he gets what he needs and what he wants. And yes, at times it makes me sad, but overall, I feel good about the journey that I took and my faithfulness to the journey. And I have this plaque that I've had with me I took it with me from New York. With God, all things are possible. And I live with that. So I just wanted to kind of have that little discussion with you guys before I go into doing the reading. I just want to encourage you to take a look at the pain and ask it what it's telling you. I want you to take a look at how the divine is guiding you and removing survival skills from you that no longer serve you. So when I go back on my journey and I take a look at the brokenness in which I was living my life and the neediness that I had, dependence I had on human beings as opposed to the divine, and saw how I put unrealistic expectations on others, and including my divine partner, my twin, who I also had to take a step back and really obey God. And in obeying God, I had to really surrender my twin to his life path and purpose, whatever that translates to. And we talked about it a few times, and he's made some grave errors based on egoic patterns to which he was unable to surrender, and had to go through lessons over and over and over again. So my leaving New York was the best thing that I could do. Leaving him there and coming to Florida was the best thing I could do. And it's so funny because it came to my mind today. I went to New York and I basically had set some boundaries before I left. And when I got there, I felt good about the boundaries that I had set, and understood that being in obedience to God as opposed to the flesh, because we love them and we love being around them. And I had considered not coming back to Florida for about a minute, but I knew that the time was not right, and that the path here was so clear and so peaceful and so beautiful that it was more important to be obedient to my soul and to my God than it was to fall victim to what ultimately is him not being ready. And I can see more clearly now that in the times that we would come together that he was not entirely ready. And so he's got to unlearn and relearn and relearn and relearn. And excuse me. So I'm not... vibrationally, we're not a match right now. The soul may be crying out for him to get clear, but the body has not followed the soul. I heard that put by another reader once. The soul may be saying, just obey, just obey, just obey, but the body is doing the opposite for whatever reasons. So I'm gonna, this is a weekend energy update, and I want to, as I always do, I'm going to do the Sarah calling for August 31st. Grow strong in your weakness. Some of my children I've gifted with abundant strength and stamina. Others, like you, have received the humble gift of frailty. Your fragility is not a punishment, nor does it indicate lack of faith. On the contrary, weak ones like you must live by faith, depending on me to get you through the day. I am developing your ability to trust me, to lean on me rather than on your understanding. Your natural preference is to plan out your day, knowing what will happen when. My preference is for you to depend on me continually, trusting me to guide you and strengthen you as needed. This is how you grow strong in your weakness. So we're brought to scripture in James 4:13 through 15. I'm going to just open that up. And while I'm opening that up, I've been very emotional the last few days. My daughter has taken a job in Australia, and in as much as I'm excited and I helped her negotiate the work contract, I'm just kind of sad and overwhelmed that she's going to be so far away from me. She's going to be visiting me next week for 10 days. So if my readings are sporadic, it's because I am going to be devoting all my time to her while she's here. Anyway, and I do plan to go to Australia in December. So I'm working on that. I'm also, if you're still watching, planning a special on readings for the month of September, which is my birth month. And I'm going to be doing 30-minute readings for $30, which is $14 off of what I normally do readings for the month of September. So I encourage you all to help me celebrate and book a reading. Okay, so let me just get $13.85. Because these books are so small, I always skip over where I'm supposed to be. So I'm in James chapter 4, 13 through 15. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city, spend a year there, buy and sell and make a profit. Whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we shall live and do this or that. Wow. And then we have Proverbs 3, 5, verse 5, chapter 3, verse 5. So yeah, if it is God's will, I use that a lot for the divine path. If it is God's will, let it work out. And if it is not, this or something better. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. That was one of my most favorite and treasured scriptures on this journey. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. And that's how I got to Florida. Because in my understanding, my fear, I would not have been able to do this drive down to Florida and start a new life. It was just not even a possibility. But I did it. And so I'm here, and I am grateful that I did this, and I'm grateful that the Lord saw fit to open doors and to get me to do these readings, which he was trying to get me to do in New York, but you know, my fear and my hesitation and my insecurities were much more powerful at that time. And now I have no fear because I have faith that God will take me to exactly where I need to be. And, you know, in the God-conscious way, and you know, really just listening and being obedient until I get the next steps. And he has turned me into somewhat of a missionary, if you will. For that, I'm grateful. And I get to work with you guys, and I have met some amazing twins on this journey, and I want to continue to meet some amazing twins. So with all of that, I'm going to go into your reading, and the frailty part that it talks about, which is what I was talking about earlier on, and I didn't read this today. I'm at the end of the day doing the weekend update. I didn't read the Sarah Young book until now, and early in the video I talked about the frailties. He wants to strengthen us, and our frailties, our sensitivities, are the gift that will be used for his purpose. And the tenderness that I have still for my twin will never ever go away, and I still can feel him at times, but I also know that it's just not destined at this point, and I'm okay with that. And I am encouraged by the path and the gift of being a light for others, to really get clear from these lower vibrational energies. So I'm going to ask God, all the archangels and divine guides to be present for this reading, so that we can have guidance, information, clarity, inspiration, motivation, redirection if needed. And so it is. I thank you for all the ways in which you show up in our path now and forever. So, what information do you have for the twin flames this weekend, August 31st through September 1st? What guidance do you have? I ask that you use me as a clear channel to relay the messages to the twin flames. So, I will always be a twin flame. It's just part of who I am. Just like I will always be a woman in recovery from alcoholism, I will always be a twin flame. I don't engage in alcoholism, and I may not engage in the twin flame relationship that way. I know that it's that or something better. And I'm glad that I get to share the journey with you as you share with me what's going on your journey. So, I thank you. You guys are really awesome. I also want to thank those that contributed, that donated to this channel. I am going to just put a shout out that it's appreciated, and it helps me stay connected. It helps me get new cards. It helps me in my time. So if you feel that this has helped you and it resonates with you, feel free to donate any amount, because that exchange of energy helps you on your path as well. Okay, thank you. If you would like to book a personal reading, those links are also below, and you can do that from the Facebook page. Okay. So the overall energy is the Knight of Coins. Knight of Pentacles is showing up as your overall energy. I don't know if you can see that. That's pretty awesome. Oh. Okay, so for some of you, you got the Lovers in the work position. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, boy. So, I just got finished talking about, I love the way they kind of make things a little clear. The Lovers is where the work is being done, and it's the Lovers for within yourself. For some of you, you will be coming into a union or into some contact with, the physical contact with the overall energy being the Knight of Coins. You also have under that the Palace of Cups, which is really getting into that subconscious world with the Star as your unexpected. So this weekend, some of you will be coming into union in the physical this week. So, and the unexpected is you're going to be very guarded because of what's happened in the past. So you have Queen of Coins. So when I talk about the energies, the masculines sometimes are carrying the feminine energies, and the feminines are sometimes carrying the masculine energies. I tend to carry both, but I've always leaned probably more towards the masculine energies. That's probably because of my upbringing and how God made me. So this reading is basically, so in the work position we have the Lovers, and that's where we're going to want to put a lot of the effort. So in you, any areas in which you still feel depleted or denied or lacking, you really want to surrender that to God for healing, so that when you do come together, you're not coming together necessarily in this energy. I'm going to seek clarity on this, by the way. And then in the home position, we have the Queen of Coins. So many of the feminines are feeling quite comfortable in their home life and in their surroundings and in their general world. many of you are feeling confident and in charge of your lives. Now, what I want to also point out is we have the Knight, a Queen, and a King that showed up. So you have, this is the overall energies in the heart chakra showing up. So I'm really pleased with that, the way that's showing up for you guys. And then in your role as the King of Coins. So, so it looks like there is some mirroring here for the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. This is a Divine Partnership reading, by the way. It isn't masculine or feminine. It's both, essentially, in this reading. So just be mindful that that's how they wanted it to be seen this week. But you also have in the unexpected the Star. The Star. So balancing out your inner energies, balancing out your inner masculine and feminine, using your intuition. You may not be aware of how your intuition is working at this point, but be in your intuition, because that's an unexpected. If intuitively you feel like if you feel intuitively like you're coming into union, then chances are you're coming into union. You don't have to do anything. You can't make any errors, by the way. You can't do anything wrong. When it comes to going into union, it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. That's basically it. It's going to happen or it's not. And it may not happen on your time. But you want to be in a meditative state. You want to do things that will quiet your mind. You want to do things that are peaceful for you so that you can gain clarity. So that you can, know when to take the next appropriate step. And sometimes taking the next appropriate step is just being still and relying on God and the intuition. I did say I'm going to break out that journal soon. I have it. I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but I will be doing it in the very near future, as soon as the Divine gives me the okay. All of the energy here is suggesting that there is a union impending for many of you, and I just want to focus on these three because of all of the green and because of they're all in the same suit. She talks about gentle discipline and coming from love. Now, it's no coincidence that we started to work on that this week. What is love and how can it be best served? And you want to make sure that in all situations that you're being loving, gentle, and kind to everything, to everybody. It looks as though, since this is you, and this is probably your divine partner, you're extremely decisive, so you know what you want. You know what you're doing. I kind of said that about myself. You know how to handle the beauty of the physical world in your life, and you know how to handle your emotions as well. So you don't let the material override your spiritual self, essentially. So be in enjoyment of your current life and your current situation. Be in sheer pleasure of all that's around you. Be encouraged that you are right where you need to be. That be decisive about what you want. I was very decisive with my masculine, and that sent him in the other direction, which was fine for me because this is what I want. If you can't come through with that, then I don't really want to settle for anything less anymore. And I felt that I did. Don't be too controlling. Be open-minded. Be gentle. Be a leader in how you're moving forward in this. But don't be too guarded. Don't be too, because this is showing up as you will be guarded, but let the divine guard you. You don't have to be the one that guards you. I'm going to just do some clarity on that, because that's like a bit of a defensive stance. It's a protective stance. Moving cautiously. Some of you will be moving cautiously. I encourage, that's the outcome. I encourage you to move cautiously. Move slowly. There's no reason to rush anything. Thank you, angels, for sending this. You want to move cautiously. You want to move slowly. You don't want to jump into things without, thinking them through. You just want to kind of ease into, if you are in contact, just ease into it. Not too much pressure on either end, for you or for them. You just want to be just smooth. And so I guess the preface of this reading about, the importance of focusing on the divine, this is them validating what I had said. You can come into union. Some of you will come into union. Some of you are meant to be in union. Some of us are meant to continue on the path with or without that divine partner physically by your side. I know I'm one of them. And I feel very good about the decisions and about about what I've done. I feel very confident that what I've done was in the best interest of me and in him. And I was very clear about what I want. Very decisive. Not controlling, but decisive. So we're looking for clarity on that Six of Swords energy and any other guidance you can give. Okay. Nine of Cups, celebration. Celebration. That's really beautiful. And strength. So really, you have the strength to really set your boundaries. You have the strength to discern what's going on in this situation. You have everything that you need to move forward with this twin flame journey, as long as you keep the focus on the divine. That's the most important thing. What else do you want for them to know? I'm going into the John Holland Psychic Tarot. There's not a whole lot more clarity I can put on this. You've got all 3 suits minus the page, which is good, because the page is in learning, so you're moving towards all the material. You have everything you need materially. And so does he, it seems. Has everything he needs materially. Being comfortable in the material world, but also being comfortable in this world of the spiritual self, so that you can gain clarity and balance. So the celebration for some of you, you're going to get exactly your heart's desire. Just stay true to yourself. Have the strength to stay true to you. That's important. That's critical. Yeah, that's critical. Okay, so what other clarifying cards do you have for this weekend that could be helpful to the collective? Thank you. Yeah, well-deserved reward. So they're talking about your darkest fears. You don't want to focus on your fears. You want to focus on faith. Some of you will be clearing through those darkest fears. Some of you will be coming through the other side. What stands out to me here is 2 9s. And I want to encourage you to look up what, if you are driven by numbers, 99 or 2 9s. We also have 19 underneath as shine. So you have well-deserved reward, which was the first card that came out, which showed me that the celebration is well-deserved. You've worked really hard to get to this point. And then we have a 21, which represents to me 3. Embrace all of what's going on in your world. Embrace what God has given you. Embrace your gifts and talents from the heart. It's showing that the heart chakra. So there's a little heart in here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to try to turn the light so that it's a little bit clear. There, is that better? Without a glare. Sorry. Just see the heart right down in here. I can't do that. No, that's not going to work. But, oh, there. There's a heart in here. And there's like the tree. The tree of life is found in the heart. It really is. It's not in the head, it's in the heart. And shine, again, your heart. So, guys, this is really a powerful, positive reading for this weekend. I'm sending you blessings of love. If you would like your own private reading, the links are below. If you are in need of coaching through these situations, please email me. I do have coaching packages for twin flames. And I just want to thank you all for being with me over the course of time since I started. You guys are such a blessing in my life, and I'm sending you lots of love.